from the Johnson Space Center in Houston, ground control up to the International Space Station, and was listening to that feed. I don't know if it was coming off of NASA TV, but the audio was great, and it was fun to listen to.
Good morning, everyone.
The astronauts as
Happy
they
Sunday.
prepared to receive the SpaceX mission that launched.
Catch your early morning hand bands here.
Rescue the two stranded astronauts from Boeing. The folks have been up since the summer, and I think they didn't plan on being up there until late March. Bless their hearts. Good to get those two folks back here on the ground where they belong. They've had a long, it's been a long run. 2 weeks for them, all 9 months of it. But it was kind of entertaining to listen to the broadcast link, the feed, and I'd say that is a favorite, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, well there's plenty of places like that. And of course NASA streams it. They're only getting it off NASA. They're streaming it live as well. Yes, it's a good job they're not paying for their ride, HI. So there you go. They only bought a 2-week ticket. But they'll have learned a lot. And of course when they come back, there'll be a book deal and all the experience to share. And I'm not sure, I think our Tom is going back again into space, the British astronaut. And Tim Peake actually, he was up there. I've read his book, interesting, about his life and how he went from joining the military, helicopter test pilot, and he went as an astronaut. And of course he did some contact, and you can listen to the space station live if they're on the downlink to schools and things. On Echolink, you can just put calls out on repeaters and just take potluck, really. There are some big systems out there. The wind system in California used to be very good, but now it's plagued by, bad people. So it's best to avoid it. But there are some other big systems about and places that you can go to for a chat. Obviously, the East Coast Reflectors, good, but that have multiple stations connected. So there's all that for you to explore and find things. I suppose at the moment, you just use the Echolink. There's All-Star you can use, as well as Peanut. And there are different ways of finding other things to get hold of people on different systems over.
All that does is great, and it reminds me of how much I have to learn. My goodness gracious. Someone pointed out the other day that there are rabbit holes in this hobby. There are rabbit holes, and rabbit holes inside those, and rabbit holes inside those rabbit holes. So that's certainly, but there's so many directions to go. And even with this, just the fact that you named a couple more modes, or not modes, but methods to get out on the air and have a chat. All-Star, I'm going to learn more about All-Star. I don't know anything about Peanut. So now I'm going to have to go look at that, and I'm smiling as I say it, because it's what makes this time for me so exciting, because there's so much to learn. So, and thanks for the tip about that that went out on the West Coast. Yeah, if I see that one pop up in front of me, I'll give it a little smile and say, well, maybe not. Yeah, Fort BUC Rush in Florida.
Volume NCX button.
Yeah, sorry about the delay. I just had to call and drop something off. So that's what I'm on with. And yeah, it's right. Obviously, it's nice if you've got a club member or anybody, a sighted person, to make life a lot easier on the, on your location. To put these things on, but once you've got them on, fairly easy to drive. I use all stuff on the computer. All the stuff I use is on the computer, and I use that. Peanut is just something you download. You can have it on your phone, or you can have it on an iOS device, so that's available. The thing about Peanut, which is interesting, it does gate, offer gateways to digital modes, and so if you haven't got D-Star, DMR, or YSF, you can get on those systems purely by using the interface of that program, gateway. So there's all that. Crossing the road. And, yeah, a friend of mine is going to a ham fair today in Michigan.
Michigan.
And I watched the video. He was going to live stream it for me. Put me in his pocket, and then I'll be able to walk around the ham fair with him. And we have audio feedback, so I can't question as I'm looking at the equipment. But it's a bit of fun. Great things you can do today in communications, over.
That is true, no doubt. And this afternoon, there is a group here in the U.S. I don't know how many folks outside of the States are part of a group called Handy Hand. And Handy Hand is devoted to developing the use of amateur radio by people that are disabled. And I don't know if you remember, I may have told you I'm actually blind. So a lot of what I do is adaptive, like with the iPhone. The iPhone speaks, the computer speaks. I don't speak print or text anymore. Used to, but not anymore. Those days are in the rear view mirror. And God, I can't even see the rear view mirror anymore now that I think about it. But I know they're there. So Handy Hand actually allows folks that are disabled to study for their licenses and connect with one another and learn the hobby, support each other. Very good group, been around for years, and today they're going to do a Zoom session on contesting. For those who don't know about contesting, I know of it, and I've just listened to lots of contesting when I was DX with a shortwave receiver. For many, many years. So I know of it. I never thought I would be part of it, but there'll be a time here when I have enough gear set up and the antennas are just right. And
go check that out. Handy
I have the right licenses to get on HF.
HANDI,
see what I can do
HAN.org.
to try to collect my 100 countries or 50 states or
Thank you, brother.
all the counties or... We'll have to see. I think it would be a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people enjoy contesting. And I've got some friends who have been Elmers for 50 years, and they tell me they have no interest in it whatsoever. That they've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and those days are in the past for them. They don't need to do it. But I'm young and new about it. So, well, I'm new about it. I say young. So for me, it's just another rabbit hole.
Value NTX.
From G3ZH, I was telling. I don't know if Holly is still around. I was associated with it, but about 30 years ago, he interviewed me for about an hour, all about VoIP, and it's on their website somewhere, and I was explaining what it was, and that was a very helpful and useful contribution, I hope, to Handyham. And when I think about it and think about progress and change that are about with different systems, then that's something else that, maybe if you get to know about it, they can explore. There already are people who are non-sighted on the systems. So again, it's how much they sort of pass it along, get people going with it. But I don't do consulting myself now. I have only loosely participated in a millionaire's paradise. You get people like K3LR, who's got, I think, 500-foot towers and 5 people in to win contests, and he wins them. Either he wins them or his dollars win them over.
NTX.
That must be an impressive system to see. That's wow. Must have a lot of land as well. And I live in a apartment complex, basically, for lack of a better word, where there are brick buildings everywhere and lots of trees. And so I'm going to have to explore creative ways to even get up some antennas for your meter. I'll figure something out. Can't just broadcast inside the house very well without an outside antenna. I don't think I'm going to be getting any 100-footers up in the air, much less 5 of them. So you were saying about Handyham, you did an interview. What you did you say was Hat Holly? And I wonder how I could track that down. That would be fascinating. Whether it's current or not, I'd still love to check that out and give it a smile.
Value NTX.
Yeah, he called me on the phone, and we did a recording. I've done recordings with different organizations around the world regarding early days of VoIP. And in fact, I did some conference calls with NASA, getting the space station broadcast on Echolink. And there were people from NASA on that conference call. Quite exciting, you get the call and they ask your name, and this is NASA calling. The conference will start out, and all that sort of thing, introduction. And then before you know it, you're on a conference call talking to NASA people. So that was fun. And it works very well. I don't know if you know, but what happens if you want a school contract and the space station isn't over there, but it's over another ham, another part of the world, they'll carry it out on Echolink. And they've got appointed people in different countries that do it. So the schools are not relying just on where the space station is. And it makes that happen. So they use Echolink for that. And it's worked well ever since. interesting about the president, this, your president, Trump, he wants to deregulate, get rid of regulation that's not necessary. And there's rumours afoot that they might make ham radio examinations simpler, take out all the stuff you don't have to remember, and that might make it better for the hobby, really. I think the hobby questions sometimes are quite unnecessarily difficult. When you get down to asking Coulomb discharge rate of capacitors and things like that, there's a formula. But equipment's built by robots, and they don't think about things like that. They just build things robotically, HI. So that'd be interesting if that happens, and therefore it makes it less of a barrier in terms of knowledge. Need to know. I've forgotten everything I learned 50 years ago, and I'm on the air every day. So I'm an example of what I'm talking about.
NCX.
I suppose there's a balance between too difficult and too easy, and we know what happens when it's too easy, and you remove all the regulations. You get American citizens ban chaos in the TV radio. Oh my goodness. I think that's probably somebody who's serious about amateur radio. Some of the folks I talk to, that's probably the biggest fear in the States, is that one day it will be as chaotic and basically the Wild West, to grab a phrase out of the air. And it'll become Citizen Fan Radio, and oh, that's awful. I listen to CD once in a while on various sources, either that or tune across with an all-band receiver that picks up those 27 megahertz stations, and it's pretty bad. The language, the behavior is atrocious. It's me imposing my morals on it, but I'm sure amateur radio doesn't want to go that direction. For your information, I got, if I'm remembering correctly, I've been reading something that Hap Holly is now a silent T. So I didn't get to know that person, but all the notes I saw coming across a particular listserv in an email group where everybody just was effusive with praise for Hap Holly, and they remembered Hap, and I'm too new to know anything other than to have seen that and thought, wow, this person was pretty special, obviously. KR4BUZ, over.
Call you NCX.
From G3ZHR returning. Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. It's a balance. I'm not suggesting a free-for-all. You do get some of what you've talked about anyway on ham radio. It's not without that at times. So let's not kid ourselves. But yeah, it's a balance. I think it's the wrong way at the moment. So it's what's needed. And it shouldn't be an exercise on turning out electronics professors. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. And of course, the failure to grasp that the equipment today is built by robots, which is a fundamental point, then you have to get into that lane and think people aren't doing a lot of that, so therefore we can tailor things. And that's what you do. You need somebody who's got that ability to work all that out and do it all. But remember that last year in America you lost 1,000 hams. So your numbers are falling. And, sometimes you've got to maybe do something about it. Sorry about the dog.
Maybe we gained 1,000.
Just let me fly when I'm out and about. Just let me get across this road.
That's a weird thought. Where do we use them?
It's fun when you're out. So, yeah, I think it will come. And just slip out. I mean, questions about coulomb and capacitors was an example. And of course, in the Irish exam, they ask about this quantization business. Working out the digital chopping up analog into digital with a formula you can use to work it out. And of course, depending on how you do that, it affects the quality, but people don't do it. I've never sat down and worked out the sampling rate of my conversion. So there's questions which are like not that people either need to know or use. In fact, I even had to look it up in the dictionary because I didn't know what it meant. Quantization. Thought, wow. 60 years in the hobby and you've got a portion in the syllabus and I didn't know what it even was about. I do now. And you can look it up yourself and get to know the formula over. Bit of a HI there.
NCX.
No apology about the puppy there. That was I had a big smile on that face. I thought, well, this is one of the wonderful things about the hobby. I can chat with a new friend in the UK who's taking a walk, and then off in the background and coming up to say hello is K9DOG. I don't know if anybody has that call, but they certainly are lucky if they can pull that call off in the States. So I'll have to look and see if I can find that one or available. So that would be great. But for the moment, all I'm trying to do is learn what they require that I learn to go up to the next class. There's 3 classes, obviously, in the U.S. The technician now, novices fallen by the wayside, codes fallen by the wayside. So we have the technician, we have the general, and then the advanced extra as the 3rd level, highest level. And next, I would hope within a month and a week or so, at the end of April, I hope to sit for my exam for general. Past that, I have been doing a little bit of study. But unfortunately, I'm not as studying as much as I was for the technician because now I'm playing with a new radio and I'm playing with Echolink. So I'm studying it, listening to people teach me. So that's my goal for now is to just to learn what they insist that I learn, or maybe to get past the 35 test questions. We'll see how that goes. Going to go ahead and sign off and finish my cup of coffee in the morning and take care of some things. The sun is beginning to come up here in Florida. Well, it's behind the clouds, but I know it's out there, so the day is beginning. We had a daylight savings time change last Sunday, and so it was a little darker in the morning. But we're looking forward to a little bit of rain and wind today here in northeast Florida, and hope that it won't be too bad. So KR4BUZ out on your bike. Great talking to you, Judy, and I hope to chat soon.
Call you NCX. Button.
Some keepers are there, Charlie, returning. We timed that very well. I've just got back. It's 5 minutes to 12 o'clock in England. We do our clocks in a couple of weeks, and then we'll be back to 5 hours. I'm 4 hours at the moment. So, very good. Anyway, best of luck with the exam. I wouldn't want to do it myself. In America, you don't take your license out for 10 years, you've got to take the exam again. So, you get an 80-year-old who decides he'd like to come back to the hobby, And he's got to learn it all again. And you think, why? Why would you do that? We don't do it in England and many other countries around the world. It's for life. I don't know why the Americans impose that on people. To me, it's an unnecessary burden. In fact, that's one of the rules, maybe, the FCC could get rid of as unnecessary. Just a thought. And so we'll see what happens. But the other thing is that although we've abolished the code is still on in Canada. Canada's still got the Morse code test. And you think they're like a developed country, but no, they like to stick to the old rules, the ways, and it's surprising. But a lot of the third world keep the Morse code test. India, stuff like that. They still have it, and Ireland still has it. So even developed countries still keep that. I don't know why. It's all in the past, really. Unnecessary, but unnecessary regulation burden. Okay, 73. Thanks for the contact, and well, catch you again. I'm always out on my walk at this time. Bye. G3 there, Dave. Chat.
Whoa! So we can. Big old nothing sandwich.
010, engine scaling.
.org. We'll say thank you with more great music.
This is WRCJ FM and HD1.
Enough enzymes to break down food.
Husband's contact you. Ability 6. Light rain. Mist.
Let's see what we got here. I'm
1,300
probably gonna
scattered.
end the stream in
Chilling
about
2,200 broken.
a minute.
3,400 overcast.
With my big old goose egg of people in here.
Altimeter 2
But it's still pretty
runway
awesome.
24. NOTAMs, runway 24 Vasty out of service. Runway 1230 closed. Rotating beacon out of service. Use caution reverse to your Coyote. Advise connect information, Tango. In our information, Tango 1153 Zulu observation. Wind 17011 gust 21. Visibility 6. Light rain. Mist. Clouds 1,300 scattered. Chilling 2,200 broken. 3,400 overcast. Temperature 14. Dew point 13. Altimeter 2921. Expect hard enough approach, runway 24. NOTAMs, runway 24 Vasty out of service. Runway 1230 closed. Rotating beacon out of service. Use caution reverse to your Coyote. Advise connect information, Tango.
The radio
Information
isn't
Tango
leaking.
1153 Zulu observation.
The dog's just
17011 gust 21. Visibility 6. Light rain. Mist. Clouds 1,300.
Our radio isn't leaking, it's just
2,200 broken.
the dog is thirsty.
Temperature 14.
Did you say something for the fish?
Altimeter 2921.
Did you?
Turn up approach,
All
runway
right.
24. NOTAMs, runway 24 fastly out of service. Runway 1230 closed. Rotating beacon out of service. Altimeter 2922. Landing and departing, runway 23. Highway expressing use. Runway 2 code, runway 23, 555, 100% wet. Straight VOR out of service, crossing aircraft for having runway 27. Sure correct alignment with numbers on the runway surface, all absolutely on it. Cross the birds, redeckle short crossings. As in this contact, you have Mike. Well, on airplane mention Mike, time 1153 Zulu, wind 15015, gust 21, visibility 10.
Rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 41. At Lansing, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 45. At Kalamazoo, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 41. At Tri-Cities, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 48. Now looking to the Upper Peninsula. At Sault Ste. Marie, snow was falling with a temperature of 33. At Marquette, snow and fog were reported with a temperature of 23. A few out-of-state locations. At Toledo, rain was falling with a temperature of 60. At Cleveland, drizzle was falling with a temperature of 60. At Chicago, it was cloudy with a temperature of 35. Once again at Detroit Metro Airport, it was cloudy with a temperature of 54. The Lake St. Clair forecast. Today, south winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts to 30 knots becoming southwest 15 to 20 knots in the late morning and afternoon. Mostly cloudy. Light rain likely in the morning, then a chance of light rain in the afternoon. Waves 1 to 3 feet. Tonight, west winds 15 to 20 knots becoming northwest 10 to 15 knots in the late evening and overnight. Mostly cloudy this evening and becoming partly cloudy. Waves 2 feet or less. Monday, northwest winds.
Good morning, sir.
Se cree que factores como el estrés, dieta y la disfunción del sistema nervioso entérico se desempeñan en un papel importante en su desarrollo. Este síndrome ilustra la...
Bob Seger and the Fire Lake. Who's gonna ride that chrome three-wheel? I'll start the sound thing.
Ticket 73.
Overcast, temperature 14, 8.12, altimeter 2922, landing and departing runway